Welcome to Global Sky Update. Please subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon for more updates. I bet you didn't know just how much the world order is shifting right now, and what it means for every one of us. In global politics, a seismic shift is underway, felt from Brussels to Beijing, and reverberating through every major capital. The world is witnessing a transformation that is both profound and unpredictable, as the established order faces its greatest test in decades. Donald Trump has boldly declared the end of the old world order, demanding that nations pay for their own defense and rewrite trade deals he deems unfair. His message is clear: America will no longer shoulder the burdens of global leadership without reciprocity. For decades, the U.S. acted as the world's policeman and banker, projecting power and stability far beyond its borders. Trump says that era is over, insisting that America's generosity has been taken for granted by allies and rivals alike. He argues America has carried an unfair burden, spending trillions to protect wealthy allies while others benefit from open U.S. markets. According to Trump, this imbalance has weakened the nation's economy and undermined its global standing. Now, he's issued an ultimatum: pay your share or lose America's security umbrella. The message is uncompromising, signaling a dramatic shift in U.S. foreign policy and alliances. The world's response: shock, anger, and widespread resistance. Over 150 countries are pushing back, seeing Trump's approach as dangerous and transactional. Many fear that this new doctrine could destabilize regions and unravel decades of cooperation. As alliances fray and trade disputes escalate, new powers are eyeing the vacuum left by a retreating America. China and Russia, in particular, are moving quickly to expand their influence, seeking to reshape the global balance of power in their favor. The world is holding its breath, waiting to see if the system that defined the modern era will bend or break. As uncertainty grows, leaders and citizens alike are left to wonder: is this the dawn of a new era or the beginning of global instability? At the heart of Trump's foreign policy is America First, not just a catchy slogan, but the core principle that shapes every decision he makes on the world stage. For Trump, this idea is both a rallying cry and a promise to the American people. He argues that for too long, past leaders have put global interests ahead of American citizens, allowing U.S. wealth and jobs to slip away through endless foreign aid, unfair trade deals, and expensive military commitments that benefit others more than America itself. Trump's doctrine is simple: every decision, whether economic or military, must put America's interests first. He insists that other countries, especially wealthy allies, should pay their fair share and stop relying on American generosity. He views international relations much like a business ledger, constantly weighing costs and benefits. Trump asks, why should the U.S. shoulder the burden of defending prosperous nations or accept deals that disadvantage American workers? His solution is bold: impose tariffs on countries that exploit American markets, demand higher defense contributions from allies, and renegotiate every agreement to ensure the U.S. gets a better deal. This message strikes a chord with millions of Americans, especially those in struggling communities who feel left behind by globalization and resent the high cost of U.S. leadership abroad. Trump presents himself as the only leader willing to challenge the global elite and stand up for the forgotten men and women of America, promising to restore their voice and power. This America First approach marks a dramatic departure from decades of bipartisan foreign policy, which often prioritized alliances and global stability over direct national gain. Trump's ultimate goal isn't to lead the world, but to ensure America wins in a fierce global competition, upending the old rules and changing the way the U.S. engages with the world forever.
To truly grasp the shockwaves rippling through today's world, we must first look back at the system Donald Trump is challenging. A system that has shaped the modern era for generations. After the devastation of World War II, the United States took the lead in building a new global order. This order was based on collective security, free trade, and a vision of shared prosperity that would prevent another catastrophic conflict. America helped create international institutions like the United Nations, the World Bank, and NATO. Organizations designed to foster cooperation, resolve disputes, and rebuild shattered economies. The US guaranteed the security of its allies, kept vital trade routes open, and welcomed foreign goods into its markets. In return, it expected political and economic alignment from its partners, forging a web of alliances that spanned the globe. This was never just charity. It was a calculated, strategic investment in global stability, one that American leaders believed was essential for their own nation's security and prosperity.
The result was what became known as the Pax Americana, a period of unprecedented peace and prosperity, especially in the West. This system helped spread democracy, fostered economic growth, and created opportunities for millions. Across continents, millions were lifted from poverty. As nations rebuilt, industries flourished, and people found new hope in the promise of stability. Of course, the system was far from perfect. There were costly wars, uneven benefits, and moments of crisis. Yet, for over 70 years, it provided a foundation of stability that allowed much of the world to prosper. Allies came to depend on U.S. support, and American presidents, Democrat and Republican alike, accepted the burdens as the price of global leadership and influence. The benefits were clear: a stable Europe, a democratic Asia, open markets, and a world order that, for all its flaws, kept the peace and fueled prosperity. Now, Donald Trump questions this entire premise. He sees not a wise investment, but a foolish expense, arguing that America has shouldered too much of the burden for too little in return. Trump wants to rewrite the rules, believing it's time for America to demand more from its allies and reconsider the costs of global leadership. The world is watching to see what comes next.
Trump's demands have met a wall of resistance from 150 countries, rooted in concerns about stability and fairness. Allies reject his transactional view, seeing U.S. security as a mutual commitment, not a service for hire.
Many argue they already contribute through peacekeeping, intelligence, and hosting bases, just not in ways Trump counts.
The anger is also about betrayal. After decades of partnership, allies feel treated like clients, not partners. They fear Trump's real goal is withdrawal, leaving them vulnerable to threats from Russia and China.
Economic reality matters too. Many can't afford Trump's demands without slashing social programs or crippling their economies.
Faced with these choices, most leaders are resisting, hoping this phase of U.S. policy will pass. They're betting on weathering the storm, rather than restructuring their economies and security for what they see as temporary, unpredictable demands. The standoff is reshaping global alliances and trust.
Trump wields numbers, especially NATO's 2% defense spending target, as weapons. He's accused allies of being delinquent, threatening to withhold U.S. defense if they don't pay up, shaking the alliance's foundation. While some NATO members lag, many have increased spending since 2014, spurred by Russia's actions. Critics say Trump's attacks undermine unity and play into adversaries' hands.
On trade, Trump fixates on the U.S. trade deficit, blaming unfair practices and imposing tariffs on imports. He aims to force countries to buy more American goods and bring manufacturing home. Most economists argue trade deficits are complex, shaped by currency, savings, and consumer choice. Not just bad deals. Tariffs, they warn, can backfire, triggering trade wars, raising prices, and hurting American consumers. Trump's approach is a blunt instrument, risking global economic pain. The numbers game is changing alliances and economies alike.
The debate boils down to fairness versus stability. Supporters say Trump is correcting an unfair system, demanding allies carry their weight and trade partners play fair. They argue a fairer burden will strengthen alliances and make America more secure. On trade, they see tough tactics as necessary to stop cheating and level the playing field.
Critics warn Trump is sacrificing global stability for a simplistic notion of fairness. They say the American-led order prevented wars and fostered prosperity, and the costs were a strategic investment. Treating allies as clients, critics argue, creates a power vacuum for rivals like Russia and China. Trade wars, they warn, hurt everyone, raising prices and damaging trust. The real question: can America be both fair and stable, or must it choose?
Trump's confrontational approach is reshaping the world. Trade wars are no longer hypothetical.
U.S. tariffs spark retaliation, disrupting supply chains and raising costs for everyone.
The risk is a spiral of protectionism and a global recession.
America's reliability as an ally is now in question, forcing Europe and Asia to rethink their security strategies.
Europe is discussing strategic autonomy, building its own military force, potentially ending the transatlantic alliance as we know it.
In Asia, Japan and South Korea are hedging, boosting defense and cautiously engaging China.
A less reliable US could embolden regional powers, sparking new conflicts and arms races.
Russia and China are exploiting these divisions, offering alternative partnerships and leadership.
As America pulls back, China steps forward, offering a different model, one less focused on democracy and human rights.
The world is reorganizing into new blocs and rivalries.
As the US steps back, a power vacuum emerges. Geopolitics abhors a vacuum.
China is the most obvious contender, using economic and military power to build a new world order. Russia, though weaker, is challenging the US-led order, seeking to reassert its influence. The EU, pressured by Trump, is considering a more unified foreign and defense policy.
Other regional powers, India, Brazil, Turkey, are asserting themselves, playing great powers off each other. This multipolar world is dangerous. Without a dominant power, the risk of conflict rises.
Institutions like the UN are often paralyzed, unable to manage disputes among major powers.
The new era is defined by economic, political, and military competition.
Smaller countries must navigate a complex, risky landscape, no longer able to rely on a single patron.
We're at a pivotal moment. The global order of the last 75 years is being challenged by its own architect. Trump's America First revolution has forced a global reckoning, with 150 countries resisting his demands. The world faces a crossroads: move toward new cooperation, or descend into great power rivalry. One future. Trump's pressure works, allies pay more, and the US gets better deals. But trust erodes and alliances weaken. Another, fragmentation and conflict with competing blocs and a more dangerous world. The outcome isn't written. It depends on choices made in Washington and capitals worldwide. The debate is about more than budgets and trade. It's about the world we want to live in. The answers will shape global power for generations, affecting peace and prosperity everywhere.